destination was. That was secret. And while we were aboard ship, there were a lot of rumors we were going to hit Formosa. At that time, Iwo Jima had just about been secured. So we didn't know we were going to the Jap mainland or where we were going until April, early April, when we were informed that we were going to hit this island called Okinawa. And we landed on Okinawa unopposed on Easter Sunday, 1945.
So you were there Easter Sunday for the initial invasion.
Yes.
And it was unopposed?
It was unopposed. We were not the first wave. They were unopposed. We were in the second or third wave, I forget which. And we hit the beach there, and there was no resistance. And then we went north, up to northern Okinawa. And when we got up to northern Okinawa, then we got heavy shelling from the mountainous region on Okinawa.
What were you told about the invasion of Okinawa prior to landing in Okinawa? You were still lieutenant at this time, first lieutenant?
No, I was captain at that time.
Oh, you were captain at this time?
Yeah, I was executive officer of a Marine Rifle Company.
And what company was that, why don't you tell us?
Company G.
Company G for what division?
29th Marines, 6th Marine Division.
Okay. And when you did when you originally invaded, you invaded with the Army and the Navy. The Navy was involved too, weren't they? What was it called?
Yeah.
What was it called? Operation Iceberg?
I didn't know it by that name.
Okay.
No, I didn't know it by that name, but the Navy, we went over the cargo nets on the landing boats, and the Navy had shelled the island before we went in, but as I say, there was no resistance. And thank God there wasn't, because they had a lot of tombs built into the side of the sloping hill, and if they had weapons in there, we would have been slaughtered on the beachhead. But we went up north, and from up north we had the gunfire coming in from the interior, and so we launched an attack up there.
Did you, when you originally landed, do you know precisely where you landed in Okinawa on the island? Was it like right in between? Right in the middle?
Yeah, I would say it was a little, I would say west of the middle. A little more towards the northern part of the island.
And this campaign was supposedly to split the island in half, get a hold of Okinawa, so they could utilize Okinawa as a landing strip, so that they would have easy access to Japan.
Correct.
Right. So the Marines of the 6th Division, who headed into Okinawa's North Division, 2/3 to encounter light opposition, right?
Yeah, to the north, the opposition was not as heavy as it was in the south.
And when would you say that you started to confront heavy opposition?
I would say it was heavy when we had to take one ridge right along the Yaitaki mountain range, and we lost maybe 25 of our 200 men taking that hill. But the heavy operation started in the south, and we went south in the early part of May.
In the early part of May.
Yeah, and that's where we ran into heavy opposition. And I lasted down there about a week or so, maybe 10 days fighting at just near Shuri Castle. And there they really got bogged down after I got hit.
Can you give us a sense of what the how the morale was of the soldiers at that time?
The morale was good.
Morale was good.
Excellent. Yeah.
Even under those circumstances, they had excellent morale.
Right.
And they seen all this death and destruction around them. They still maintain
Right.
some sort of sense of honor and some sense of pride for what they were doing. These soldiers that you fought with, did you have any close friends that were killed
Yes.
in action?
I had a good friend. His name was Sherman Barrington Ruth, and he was from Gloucester, Mass. And he was married. He had a little son, and his nickname was Babe. And I had another friend. His name was John Stone, and Babe was the first lieutenant in G Company. He had the first platoon, and he got hit. And we thought he had up in the southern part of Okinawa, and we thought it was a happy wound early May. And then we got word that he was hit in the leg, that a clot from the leg went up to his heart, and he deceased. By that time I had taken over command of G Company, and before we went south, because our commanding officer was wounded in combat, so I had G Company, and I led them up, secured that Yaitaki mountain range hill that we had, and from there we went south, but I was transferred from G Company to company commander of I Company, and it was with I Company that I went south.
Okay, so when you were originally there, you were executive officer, but you were under whose command? Who was your superior?
My superior.
When you landed on the island, who was your superior? Who were you subordinate to?
I was subordinate to Captain Blanchett.
Okay, and then eventually...
He was wounded,
Mm-hmm.
and then I took over the company. He was wounded in an ambush that we got caught in up there.
And so then you would take, you had orders to start heading south?
Heading south, and my other friend, John Stone, he was executive officer of I Company. So he was my right-hand man. And when I got hit around the 14th or 15th of May of 45, after I had been in combat about 40 days, 45 days, 46 days, something like that. But Stone, he took over the company, and he was one of the few that survived the whole operation, a 90-day operation.
He survived the whole...
Without being wounded. But he had many close calls. One time he was buried alive from a shell and almost suffocated under the earth. Another time he had bullet wounds through his dungarees. Well, not wounds, but bullet holes. So he made it. And I still have contact with John Stone.
How many men did you lose under your command?
That would be hard to say. We started out with about 300, and they said we had 70% casualties. That includes replacements. So, with the numbers, I would say out of the whole 300, if they had 12 standing at the end of the operation, that would be about it.
That's called Dashaki Ridge? Dakishi? You said Shiitake. Sugar Loaf, I see Sugar
Loaf. That's why I got hit near Shuri Castle and Sugar Loaf.
That was Shuri Castle, okay. Yeah, I see that. Sugar Loaf, okay. Half Moon Hill.
Yeah,
combined
why
with
not?
Horseshoe